The movie begins with showing us an 11-year-old girl named Emma, who was watching a cat drowning in water from her room. But Emma did not try to save it and closed the curtain of her room to get ready for school. After her mother's death, Emma lived with her father, David. At breakfast, she told her father that winning school citizenship was her dream. As they were talking, their Aunt Angela came to meet them. She told David that she had found a new babysitter for Emma. Here we learn that Emma's first babysitter had died in an accident. In the midst of these things, Emma told about the dead cat in the fountain outside. Then David took out that cat, but there was no sorrow on Emma's face for the death of that cat. That same day at school, when all the children in the class ran away in fear after seeing a bug, Emma put the bug in a box without fear and threw it outside. Meanwhile at home, David interviews Emma's new babysitter, Chloe. He likes Chloe's work and hires her. Meanwhile at school, while playing, a girl bumps into Emma and falls down, which makes Emma help her and stand her up with love. Her teacher was also watching all this, but looking at Emma, it seemed as if she was just pretending to be good to win the citizenship. Then that night, she was practicing smiling in front of the mirror in her room. The next day, the citizenship award was to be given, so David got Emma ready and took her to school, where all the children and their parents had also come. Then the school principal announced that a boy named Milo had won the citizenship award. Hearing this, Emma became very sad. Then when David talked to Emma about Milo, Emma said very angrily that Milo is not worthy of this award at all. This award is only mine. After a while, when all the parents were talking to each other, Emma quietly took Milo to the edge of a high cliff near the lake. Here, Mrs. Alice tells David something special about Emma. She says Emma is a very smart and brave girl, but she is also a little different from other children. She never talks to anyone or makes anyone her friend. David does not understand why she is saying this. Then, after a long time, when Milo tells Emma to go back with him, Emma slowly moves towards him, and then the screen goes black. After a while, when Milo's parents ask Emma about Milo, Emma lies to them that she hasn't seen him for a long time. Then two girls come there screaming, which makes everyone run after them. When they reach there, they see that Milo has drowned and died in the lake. Milo's parents tried hard to save him, but Milo was already dead. The next day at breakfast, David asks Emma how she feels about her friend. But Emma had completely forgotten that one of her friends had died yesterday. Then that same day, Chloe also came home. Emma sees at night that Chloe is stealing some of her dad's medicine. Later, when they were watching TV, Emma asked her about the medicines and tells Chloe that she won't tell Dad anything if she listens to everything, but Chloe leaves from there in the middle of the conversation. Then the next day, Milo's memorial is held. Everyone there was sad except Emma. David talked to Milo's parents and found out that they didn't find Milo's medal anywhere. Then they thought that maybe it had sunk somewhere in the lake. Then suddenly Emma also started crying in front of Milo's parents. It seemed as if she was just pretending to cry in front of them. When they both started to return home, Emma looked completely normal. Seeing this, David became a little worried. At home, when David was putting Emma's stuff in her room, we saw that Milo's medal is hidden under Emma's bed. At night, David looks at the photo of the award day and notices that Emma is looking at Milo and his medal with a lot of anger. He becomes a little suspicious of his daughter for Milo's death. Then the next day, Mrs. Alice comes to Emma's house with a police officer and tells David that some children had seen Emma going with Milo in the same direction, where we found Milo's body. Emma was listening to all these things secretly. Then she deliberately hurts herself so that their conversation stops there, and that's what happens. Due to her injury, Mrs. Alice and the police officer leave from there. While applying medicine to Emma, David asks her if she had gone to the lake with Milo, which Emma denies clearly. But when David tells her that some people have seen you going with Milo on that same path, Emma gets angry as soon as she hears it and says that I know that Mrs. Alice told you this because she hates me. The next day, Chloe goes to the workplace where David was working. She asks David if she can smoke a cigarette there, but David refuses her clearly and tells her that there are many kinds of chemicals stored here, that can catch fire and cause a big accident. Hearing this, Chloe agrees with David. Then after a while, Chloe takes Emma out for a walk where they see Mrs. Alice at Milo's house. Chloe tells Emma to scare her that they are all preparing a case against you, but Emma pretends as if she doesn't know what Chloe is talking about. When they come back home, Chloe tells Emma that if they find any evidence against her, they will give her electric shocks. Hearing this, Emma gets a little scared, but she still doesn't say anything. After a while, when Chloe is looking for Emma at home, we see that the beehive that was hanging there for a long time is not there. On the other hand, when Mrs. Alice was leaving Milo's house and going to her home, her car got unbalanced because of a bee, and we saw that the same beehive was kept on the back seat of her car, and Emma had done all this to kill her teacher. Here, Chloe also finds Milo's medal from under Emma's bed, which she hangs in a lamp in David's room, so that David also finds out about Emma. When David was in the bathroom, Emma came to her father's room and saw the medal hanging there. She quickly removes the medal from there and hides it behind her, but by then David sees her. He asks her about the medal, but Emma lies again that Milo had given her this medal while playing. Hearing all these things, David leaves without saying anything and calls Angela to find a good doctor for Emma. Then he sees that there has been an accident on the way. The next day, Emma asks Chloe why she had kept the medal in David's room. Then David comes there and tells Emma to go with him somewhere, and then they both come to Milo's house, where David tells Emma to return the medal to them. Milo's mother is very confused to see this, but still she thanks them and takes the medal. And she tells them about Mrs. Alice's death. She tells them that her car had an accident because of the bees and she died. Hearing this, Emma starts crying and says that Mrs. Alice was her favorite teacher and she loved all the children very much. Then, on the way back home, Emma becomes normal again, like before, and goes to make cookies with Chloe. Seeing her doing this, David became very worried. Later, when he was working, he saw that the beehive was not there anymore. The next day, Emma had an appointment with a doctor. They talked for a long time. When they were leaving, the doctor told David that Emma is completely normal, like other children. Emma had fooled the doctor with her words too. When he returned home, David saw Chloe lying in the sun outside, which made Chloe later tell Emma that maybe your father likes me, and maybe I will become your stepmother too. Hearing this, Emma gets very angry. Then that night, Emma goes to her father and asks him if he likes Chloe and also tells him that Chloe wants to be her stepmother, but David had to go out for some urgent work, so he ignores Emma's words. After a while, when Chloe was watching TV, she heard some noise, so she went upstairs to find Emma, but Emma was not there. Then she saw someone's shadow in David's workplace, so she went out of the house and went inside the workplace. As soon as she reached inside, suddenly the door there closed. Chloe tried hard to open the door, but she couldn't open it. Then suddenly there was a fire there. Chloe started shouting for help loudly, but no one heard her voice. Then we see that Emma was watching all this happen from the window. Chloe asks Emma for help, but Emma doesn't help her, and Chloe dies there by burning. Hearing about the fire at home, David comes home immediately. Here, the police tell David that Chloe is dead, but Emma is completely safe. Hearing this, David goes to Emma and hugs her tightly. At night, David asks Emma if she has hurt anyone. He tells Emma that he just wants to help her, no matter what he has to do. Emma finally agrees to tell everything. She tells him that she pushed Milo off the cliff. Then David also asks her about her old babysitter, and Emma tells him that she had pushed her down the stairs because she had grabbed my hand very hard. As Emma tells David all these things, Emma's anger increases. Then she tells him that she also killed Chloe and Mrs. Alice because Chloe wanted to be her stepmother. Hearing all this, David was shaken inside that his 11-year-old daughter had committed such big crimes. Then the next morning, a sheriff calls David and says that he wants to meet Emma. But David lies to the sheriff that Emma is sick right now. That same day, he takes Emma away from this place to his other house, where their security guard welcomes them. That same evening, the sheriff told David on the phone that we think that someone had deliberately set fire there, but we don't know who did it yet. Hearing this, David became very worried because the police would soon find out who set the fire, and his daughter would be caught. That night, when David fell asleep, Emma came to his room. She kissed her father's forehead, then closed all the windows of the house and turned on the gas so that she could now kill her father too, and went and sat near the lake. Late at night, David's eyes opened from the strong smell of gas. He immediately got up and turned off the gas and opened all the windows and doors of the house, and seeing Emma sitting by the lake, he realized that his daughter had tried to kill him. He went to Emma and asked her why she did this. Emma told him that if he died, she could live with her Aunt Angela, who really loved her. Even after hearing all this, David brought Emma inside with love, and then he crushed some pills and brought a glass of hot chocolate for Emma. They both drank hot chocolate together, after which he put Emma to bed there and came out from there. Here we find out that David had mixed many sleeping pills in the hot chocolate and gave it to Emma. Then that night, when David was sleeping in his room, Emma came to his room with a gun and shot at her father, but she missed, and David's eyes opened from the sound of the gun. He asked Emma how she was still alive. Then Emma told him that she had already swapped both glasses. Seeing that Emma had come there to kill him, David moved forward to take the gun from her, but Emma ran away and hid in the bathroom downstairs, and she called the police and told them that her father was trying to kill her, and also locked the bathroom from inside. Here David started looking for her in the whole house, and then he heard Emma's voice from the bathroom. Then David broke the bathroom door and went inside and pointed the gun at Emma to kill her. But because of so much noise, their security guard also came there and warned David not to do this, but David didn't listen to him. Before David could kill Emma, the security guard shot David to save the girl, and David died there. In the morning, his Aunt Angela arrived there. She told Emma that maybe her father was mentally ill. That's why he tried to kill his own daughter. Saying this, Angela hugged Emma, who gave a scary smile, and the movie ended there.